Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be creating some custom tree designs as well as talking about potentially changing the city. So let's get started. And so before we get started in today's video, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to be doing another Q&A. So if you guys want to ask me any questions, feel free to drop them in a comment below and I will be sure to answer them. I'm going to leave the comment section open for probably about a week or so, maybe 5-6 days, maybe a week, some time frame like that. And then sometime next week, I will be uploading a video about the answers to all of your guys' questions. So if you have any questions for me, I know we did one a few weeks back for the 1,000 subscriber special, but a number of you guys wanted to see these more regularly, so I'd be more than happy to do that. So drop your questions down below. It could be about the city, it could be about me, anything you want. So, or if it's about how I film these videos, how I edit, literally anything, drop a comment down below for me, and I hope to answer your question next week. And so now for the video today itself. The other day I was actually at the Pick-a-Brick wall and I got a bunch of leaves in the Pick-a-Brick box that I got. And I want to try making a couple of custom trees because I have these here that I think look pretty good, but I think we could do better, not just with that style of tree, but different styles of trees as well. And so I'm going to go grab a bunch of my brown cylinders. I already grabbed these. I'm going to grab a couple grass stems as well and the small leaf pieces. So let me just grab a whole bunch of stuff and then we can bring all this over to the build table and start building. Okay, so everything is on the build table now, and I brought over this 8x8 plate just so I can have a base to stack the cylinders on, because I think I want to use cylinders for the trees. I saw a bunch of different designs of using clips on a flex tube and all that fancy stuff, and I would love to do that, but I just don't have any of those kinds of pieces, and especially not in brown. So I have to kind of just make do with what I've got, and I have a bunch of these leaves now, and so I want to try using them. I also have a bunch of these grass stems, and these, I didn't grab the small leaf pieces yet, like the 1x1s, but I will probably grab those in a minute. I'd want to try using these first, so I want to just see where that gets me, but let me try and tinker with these for a little bit and see where that gets me. Okay, so the reason why I want to use these stem pieces here is because I want the leaves at an angle. If I didn't have these, the leaves would be perfectly flat. And then if you looked at the tree like this, it would be pretty much just two-dimensional, and I think it would look terrible. So I want to use, obviously it'll be taller than this, but I want to try using these stem pieces here just to see if I can create something that looks good, because at the moment my city is lacking in trees and I want to try and fix that a little bit here today. So I want to just try a different couple ideas. I've seen some stuff online, mostly with parts that I don't have available to me right now. So I'm pretty much just starting from scratch here with no inspiration and no ideas, but I'm going to just kind of take it from here and see where that goes. Okay, so I know this doesn't look like much yet, but I did just take a bunch of these olive green leaf pieces or stem pieces, and I put them into the big dark green leaf piece here. And if you guys didn't know, you can actually, there's a little hole on the bottom of these that actually fits on the edge of the grass stem here. So you can have it positioned like this. And I know the rest of the tree does not exist, but I think if you look at it like this, you can kind of start to see where I'm going with this. And I think this is actually not a bad look for it. I don't know how I'm going to fit 6 of these in here. I'll try and see if it works, and obviously I would like to have these in brown, these stem pieces, but I don't, so I'm just making do with the green, and I don't think the green really is that bad anyways. So I'm going to see if I can actually fit 6 of these on here, and then I guess we'll go from there, because I also don't know if I want to just use all of these big leaves or if I want to mix in some of the small ones as well. But personally, I don't think the olive green and regular green look that great together. I think the dark green and olive green look fine. I don't mind that, but the olive green and regular green I'm not a big fan of. So I'm going to kind of play it by ear. I'll try both and see if I like it with that. And if not, then I'm going to see if I can fit 6 of these onto this stem here. All right, so I managed to fit 5 of these dark green leaves onto the stems here. And so I don't know if you guys can see in there, but there is one stem left that does not have anything attached, And I think that's fine. I don't think this looks that great though. The main thing that's bothering me is, well, two things. One, this leaf is kind of sticking out randomly, but I think that could be fixed if I just use a smaller leaf here. And my other complaint with it is that this side is flat. But I guess that doesn't really matter if I'm going to have this up against a building anyways. So if I have this up against a train station, I think that could actually look all right. And let me kind of straighten the plate out a little bit. So yeah, I think that is actually probably the best way to go about it, and just kind of leave it up against the wall and then call it a day, because the rest of this I don't think looks that bad. Again, I need to fix this, but if you guys like this style of it, or if you would rather see a smaller leaf here, drop a comment down below to let me know what you guys think of this. I'd be very curious to see what you guys think, because I think it looks all right, but I've also been staring at it for a little bit now. So I don't know. I am going to still try a small leaf here though, and then I guess we'll see where that goes. But I think this is actually turning out all right. I would love to add more leaves down here, but I would ideally use these pieces right here. I'll put a picture on the screen for you, but I just don't have any of those, and I definitely don't have any in brown. So that is something that I would have to order, but as it is right now, I can maybe see if I could fit one of these just in between the cylinders here. I don't think it would look that great, but I guess we'll see where it goes. All right, so I've been pretty busy, and I actually went ahead and I made a second tree as well, because I remembered I had these olive green leaves, so I figured I would try using these. These were just extras from when I finished making the wheat field. I had a few extras, so figured I would try these instead of the regular green, because I wasn't a huge fan of how they all look together. And so I went ahead and I put one olive green one on here, and I think this one looks okay, actually. This is the original one that I've been showing you guys throughout the video, and I think it looks a little bit better. It is pretty top heavy, but I think it's okay. And then this one over here is a tiny bit smaller, and I actually tried using, I don't know if, here's a pretty good angle of it actually. I used a 6-sided stem piece in dark orange instead of the 2 green 3 stem pieces. And I thought that would work better just because it was all on one piece. But the bottom leaves are pretty much vertical. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a huge fan of how that looks, but I guess it's not terrible. I did also try using the brown stem pieces in there as well, and I quite like that actually, so I'm probably going to go ahead and add some to this one, but this probably won't stay together. I'm probably going to tear this apart and try and build a new one, because I thought the orange 6-piece or 6-pronged stem would work good, but I guess not, just because the leaves are vertical. And I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like all the leaves should be at kind of a similar angle, or at least kind of like clumping into like a circle almost. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what to think of this, to be honest with you. But drop a comment down below what you think of it. And also, if you like these trees, or if you like my mock building process, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads, and you get notified when they all come out. And also, don't forget to drop your comments and questions down below for the Q&A next week. So that's your mid-video reminder to do that. And so let me go ahead and actually place the stems into this tree here, and then I guess we'll bring them over to the city and see how they look, because I have an idea of putting them next to the train station, but I don't know. I want to see it in person first before I really commit to anything. Okay, so here they are in the city. The more I look at this one, the less I like it. So this one is going to get destroyed for sure now. But I also don't know if I even want a tree here, because this is where the platform is going to be. And this is just a random minifigure here for scale, kind of. And I don't know if I like that, to be honest with you. And then the wall is going to be here. And then the stairs entrance is going to be here. And then the wall is going to continue around this way. And I did create a couple just stacks of random pieces here to kind of throw it over here, just to make sure that this fits next to the wall here. And it is kind of far away from the wall. It's farther away than I would have originally expected it to. But I don't think it looks bad. I think it actually looks pretty good over here. If, you can imagine the staircase here, and then like a little path going around. And maybe I make this like a raised planter almost. I have no idea. If you guys have any suggestions for that, drop a comment down below. But I do think I like this style of tree and how it looks over here. And I would like to have a matching one on the other side here. I don't know if I would also put one here and consequently here as well. Or maybe just bushes along this side over here. But I guess we'll see. That's just kind of how that's going to play out based on the staircase here and how all that looks. But as for changing the city, I've thought about this quite a lot. And let me kind of walk around this way a little bit. And so over here, this main street has not really gotten a lot of attention recently. I've been working on the train yard quite a bit, as well as the train station area, but this area down here has not received a lot of attention, mostly because I'm unsure about what this is going to eventually look like, because I'm not a huge fan of having 16 stud deep buildings here, or actually it'd be even less than that because you need space for the sidewalk. And then you need space for the buildings, and I want to have a little bit of a gap back here as well, so the back of the building isn't up against the crane here. So I'm not totally loving this area right here. And so what I was considering was taking this road and leaving this part here and then leaving this road as it is here, but just moving this road plate, so the entire stretch of road starting from here all the way down over 16 studs. And then so now the T intersection would be here, and then this just would curve down this way. So T intersection right here goes all the way down. Then I could fit full modulars here. I could fit full modulars here, except for by the access hole. That would have to be half base plates, but that's not the end of the world. That is a lot less of an inconvenience than this is. I would have to sacrifice this half base plate as well as that one and the half base plate over there as well. But I don't think that's the end of the world, to be honest with you. I would get more real estate for full scale modular buildings. So losing 3 half base plates isn't the end of the world. And so I could go ahead and do that. I have a couple hesitations with that though. My first being I don't like any of the curved road designs that I've seen online that people use with these road plates. So I'd have to tinker with that and create one of my own that actually looks pretty good, because a lot of people just use light gray tile for the sidewalk and then they can just use wedge plates stacked on top of each other and then it looks all right at best. And so, but I use dark gray tiles, so I can't use the wedge plates because then the light gray will be on the top, which is not ideal. So then the sidewalks wouldn't look good. So that's a whole other problem in and of itself. This whole section here would get redone basically. So that half base plate would go, and then this row of 32, or I guess these 2.5 base plates here would get pushed back to 16 studs, and then this one would turn into a 16 by 32 going that way. And then this one would also turn into a 16 by 32 going that way, just because of the access hole. And then the Sanctum Sanctorum would still be able to fit here. It would just take over that spot there. And then this would have to go. This would also probably get moved, I'm thinking, and I would make that a corner build. And then I would have the train crossing here instead of over here. And so it's a give and a take. You know, I want to kind of leave it for now because I want to make an educated decision on this and I want to sit on it and think about it. But I've been thinking about it for a while and I figured I would come to you guys about it. And so if you think that's something that would look better for the city instead of having these tiny little buildings along here, and you know, because this area doesn't have a whole lot of real estate to do anything with really. But if I move the road over 16 studs, I could put an actual building in there and I would have the space to do that. So that's another positive of it. And so that's what I'm leaning towards right now, but I'm not totally sure about it. It does seem, on one hand, it does seem like kind of a major change because this whole side of the table here would just shift in and then I would have more space here. But it also doesn't seem like that big of a deal, to be honest with you. So let me know what you guys think about it. I'm leaning towards moving that road, but that won't happen for a little while just because I want to get your guys' feedback and I want to see if it's actually feasible to create a curved road design down here that I actually end up really liking. I could move this portion of the road over as well, But then that starts to get a little dicey because of the train crossing here, and then I can't move that up one because then the siding will be too short. And then if I put it back here, then the train crossing will have to go over both a straight track and a curved track from the switch track. So that's a whole other thing in and of itself. So I'm just focused on this, from this road plate all the way down. I'm thinking about moving. As for this stuff right here, I'm pretty set with it just staying as it is for now, because I think designing a curved road would be easier than designing a train crossing over curved track, because using wedge plates like that would not give such a clean look, I don't think. So that's what I'm thinking about that. And so that's my main change that I guess I would do to the city. So again, if you have any feedback on that for me, drop a comment down below. And then over here, the only thing I would change about the rest of the city layout here is actually back here. I would also consider making this a curved road and then getting rid of this entire road and train crossing over here. So then that way the bridge could have more height, and then I can have more room to incline and decline the track here. So that's something that I'm also considering, but I'm less likely to do this than I am to do the first thing. So, because I quite like how this looks, honestly, and if that means that I have to have a shorter bridge in relation to the height above the water, then so be it. I'm perfectly fine with that for now. Maybe in the future, like in 6 months or like a year from now, that's something I would change, but I'm pretty happy with it as it is. And so on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I did with this tree design here, and if you agree with the design changes to the city, drop a like to the video, make sure to subscribe, as well as click the bell notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on this tree design, and especially about changing that road over there, make sure to drop a comment down below for me on your thoughts about it and what you would do. And be sure to drop your questions for the Q&A next week as well. And once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.